Chief, what would you like to say?
Well, I don't want to start with good morning or good afternoon because I come in front of you today with some tragic news, some awful news. As you know, we have been looking for a missing 12-year-old for the last 3 days, almost nonstop. As you know, our Marine Patrol was back out here early this morning checking the ponds, and a little bit earlier today, utilizing some new technology that we have received for sonar, we recovered a body that was approximately 8 feet under the water. That body matches the physical description and the clothing description that we have for Juan Acevedo. The body has been recovered, and the family has just been notified of this tragic situation. And you know, I don't know that there's words to comprehend what has occurred today. We thank the media, we thank the community, because this has been a comprehensive effort to try to find this young man for almost the last 72 hours, and it's unfortunate that this is the outcome. Andy.
Chief, what role we've been going through a very cold period of time.
Yes.
What role did ICE play in this?
I think it played a big role because, I was over there for a while watching the recovery operations, and I talked to the Marine Patrol, and we were out here yesterday. I think you've all seen it. We've exhausted every possible resource that we have, from the bloodhounds from other locations, from Hampton Roads and VSP, our mounted patrols, everything that we have, we've put into play to try to find Juan. And we were out here yesterday and had drones overhead. But when the ice is 3 inches thick, it makes it incredibly difficult for us to see anything that's down there. And what I'll preface is we had no specific indication that these ponds were an area of interest, but we did not want to leave any stone unturned. And as you know, we've been investigating this as a possible abduction. It's been a very complex investigation with hundreds of officers and thousands of personnel time dedicated.
Was the searching of this particular body of water right now a product of a tip, or was it just making sure that every body of water was covered?
It was just being proactive, just checking every possible area. We had no specific intelligence or information that this might be an area of interest that we need to check, but based on the circumstances, we needed to find this young man, and we were going to leave no option off the table.
What's next now?
I think it's a period of grieving. It's a period of grieving for the family, and we will be there to support them. It's going to be a period of grieving for the community because I think they have lived this shared experience with all of us for the last 3 days. And, I think we have to look at also what it does to the officers that just pulled that young man from the lake and how that affects them. So the executive team and the community, we've got a lot of support to provide to a number of people.
Since this stemmed from an abduction, right, previous information that's what it was believed to be, are we now transitioning this into suspects, homicide investigation? Is it too early to tell?
Much too early. Anything that I will tell you would just be my gut supposition, and we have to go on facts. So right now we know we have a recovery. We will get the young man over to the medical examiner's office. They will tell us in fact what they believe to be the cause of death, and then we will reassess what we originally believed and then get that information out. But I think, like I know Jody gave a statement yesterday, we treated it like an abduction based on the information that we saw, just to make sure that we were giving its due diligence.
Is this believed to be an accident, or were there any injuries to him other than?
It's too early for me to speculate on that one. We just recovered him. So as we get more information and we can confirm facts and not what we believe occurred, we will get that out to the community.
When I asked the question about ICE,
I'm sorry.
When I asked the question about ICE, I was asking it in the context, could he have fallen through while walking on ice? But you are at what point telling us about ICE and the cause of this?
I mean, is that a possibility, Andy? Absolutely, it's a possibility, but We deal in known facts, and until I can tell you definitively what we believe occurred, what I can report today is that we have a recovery.
With that ransom or the fraud scam, is that being investigated by police now?
It's still part of our investigation, and then we'll either unfound it, disprove it, or continue to investigate it to see if there's anything additional to it.
Can you comment on that? Because, I mean, obviously this family's going through a lot of money.
Yes.
And that is just so scummy to do that to someone, a victim.
Well, we know that this would not be the first time that type of scam has been perpetuated on a family that is going through difficult circumstances. Is that a possibility? It absolutely is. Is that one of our theories, that it was possibly a scam perpetuated on the family? Of course, but we would be negligent if we did not treat it as an actual threat, an actual kidnapping, until we know otherwise.
Have anybody seen anything about the pond freezing over during this weather? Did the pond ice up really bad? Does anybody know?
At one point, they're telling me that it was up to 3 inches thick. Yes, ma'am. So,
Did you say that Juan was found with the same clothing that he was last seen in, or is just the description of him that matched, or is there anything else found?
It is my understanding that the clothing of the individual that we just pulled from the lake matches the clothing that Juan was reported last seen in. So,
Another question about whether this was what else this could be. Is there any reason to believe that whatever was going on with trying to get money from the family, I think, for the folks at home, can you just give a quick wrap on that part of the story? And did they actually give $500 to someone?
that is my understanding, that during the original Facebook Live request for people that may have seen Juan to come forward, there was a request through social media communication for $500, which at some point either the family or someone on behalf of the family paid with no additional communication. We would be derelict not to continue to investigate that until we know otherwise.
Because someone got $500.
They did.
Is there a threat to
Do we know who that person could be?
We are still trying to follow that up, Andy. We don't know that yet. Unfortunately, because it involves out-of-state transactions, we need search warrants, subpoenas to try to identify who that individual was that received that money, and then work with those local authorities. And no, Alex, at this point, I don't think there's any threat. But what I can speak to is the facts. And with what recovered, what occurred here today, we still have a lot of investigation. I could tell you what my gut tells me, but let's stick to the facts.
Out of all cities, why do Virginia Beach respond so quickly when it comes to a missing child?
I think we've learned some hard lessons, Rhoda, that we have to prioritize this, and that sometimes those missings do result in horrible circumstances. And I think it would be very hard on all of us to look at each other and look in the mirror if we didn't feel that we did everything under our power to bring that young person home. So
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, Chief. Do you want to share with us what your gut tells you?
Not at this time, Andy. I think we all have a certain feeling on what may have occurred, and I think maybe you alluded to it, but as the police, we deal with facts and not what we think may have occurred. So let me get some more facts, and then I will communicate that to all of you in the media so that we can get, I don't want to say closure, because how do you ever get closure on something that's tragic, but some understanding. So I thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.